Hello there, we welcome you to another series, another day of StarCraft 2. Of course, we are your caster Snoopy and TeaDragon. TeaDragon, why don't you go ahead and introduce our first player here?
Hello, hello. Yes, here on Beckett's Industries LE, spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, it is the red Protoss, GUNGFUBANDA.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our blue Zerg player from Team Clash. It is REYNOR.
Very exciting series to keep an eye out for. I think that we can all agree GUNGFUBANDA, definitely not your traditional sort of player.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess so is REYNOR. I mean, he is some people call him the best player in the world right now. Of course, that's always up for debate. It's very hard to say because he did win, of course, the recent IEM Katowice. So right now, by default, I would say he would be considered the best player in the world. But I mean, does one tournament really defines the best player in the world, or does it a series of couple of big wins define who is the best player in the world? That's always debatable.
Yep, definitely. I definitely agree with that, right? You've got literally the whole world going against you when you hold that title. And of course, if you are considered in that top bracket, you have to have a good repertoire of builds up your sleeve, as we can see here, REYNOR putting down that proxy hatchery, actually canceled the gas earlier, so definitely looking, yep, there we go, we see that natural hatch going down. And really just forcing GUNGFU to play sort of defensively, allowing REYNOR to take control of the game in the early stages here.
Yeah, now this is of course a map that doesn't have a low ground or high ground ramp area, so makes it a bit easier to cheese like this. You have the same vision that the defensive player has, but so far GUNGFUBANDA doing a decent job buying himself some type of, gets one of the
Wow.
zealots around it. Oh, actually, a little bit of a miss micro there. REYNOR does let one of these zealots slide, and this adept comes out just in the nick of time.
Yeah, we definitely see the micro war starting to happen. I believe GUNGFU put out the first zealot in the open because he knew that the second zealot was right about to pop. Here we have the adept, the two zealots doing their best to sort of whittle down the Zergling count as that queen does pop and starts dealing its damage on the second zealot.
Oh, it's looked a little bit dicey here for a second, but it seems like GUNGFUBANDA seemingly has kind of hold thus far.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. GUNGFU is up 9 whole workers as a Protoss. Well, 8 now, but definitely not anything to scoff at as the Protoss against the Zerg. We do see a Void Ray coming out on the Stargate. I was about to say Starport. Wrong race. Yeah, these Zealots, or I'm sorry, these Zerglings really doing their best trying to find whatever damage they can. Another Queen did pop. Just giving the Adepts some trouble, making sure that they split off, and actually REYNOR catching one of the Adepts as it shades onto the high ground. That means that these 3-lings are going to have free reign in the main 4 now. Void Ray is out, however.
That should be able to, of course, clean up the hatchery a bit quicker, as well as the Overlord there. But so far, only 4 total. Oh, it looks like there was a little bit of a pause there. But total 4 probes only lost throughout this entire cheese. Now, REYNOR, he did expand behind this, so he wasn't completely 100% all in. But I would say he has at least delayed the nexus of GUNGFUBANDA for quite some time with that block hatchery. So hard to say who comes out on top of this.
Yeah, definitely. Earlier I noted that there was a much higher probe count, and now it's dead even. 25 drones versus 25 probes, and as you can see at REYNOR's natural, we do see that saturation on the minerals really starting to kick in.
Ooh, and some ragtag group of Zerglings will go ahead and run by, catching GUNGFUBANDA off guard here. as his
Oh,
wall's
no.
completely open.
Wow, and that pylon actually disabled the Stargate, which means that that second Void Ray is, or that third Void Ray is not going to be able to come up. Now these Zerglings getting back into the main. I have to say, this game so far, Reynor's Zergling micro has been excellent. Reynor's Queen micro on those Void Rays has also been excellent, taking out one of those two harassing Void Rays.
Yeah, I felt like Kung Fu Panda really needed to save that Void Ray because, you know, this is kind of his wild card right now. This is his way to get the harassment done across the map and keep Reynor busy. But losing one of those Void Rays, only having one left over, a second one is about to pop out, but his Void Ray count is not going to be at a point where it's going to get scary and overwhelm Reynor, so it kind of really loses momentum, and now Reynor is feeling confident enough to just go ahead and expand towards his dirt.
Now the Void Rays do spot it after taking out one of the creep trimmers. Ooh, one Void Ray shield's getting stripped. Yeah, man, Reynor's got queens everywhere, and Gongfu just not really finding, like you said, finding the damage that he wants. And I think he has the same idea as he puts down a Dark Shrine. I love it.
Well, you know how the saying goes, when behind, a Dark Shrine, and he's certainly a little bit behind here. Although I guess as he does have his second Nexus up and running, things should even out a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. As we all know, DTs are relatively gas heavy, so who knows? Maybe Gongfu might even try to put down a third at his natural location. You know, try to put himself back into I was about to say base race, but that doesn't really mean what it sounds like here in StarCraft. Now we see these three Void Rays circling up to the north, trying to see if they can do a little bit of damage in the main, but honestly, I am not too sure. That Spore is there. 3 Void Rays is not actually that much. They will be able to... Maybe? Oh, wow. Not even able to target fire the injecting Queen there.
Oh,
These two Adepts, however.
Yeah. Not quite finding any damage, and actually will get surrounded there. So a little bit of a miss on micro. And oh, these Void Rays getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. We'll take some pop damage, and we'll have to go ahead and retreat for the time being. So not quite finding any damage with these Void Rays as he would like, but he does have a glaive upgrade about to finish. He is warping in a couple of Adepts. Let's see how much damage these guys can do.
Oh no. The Lings break through that one low health Zealot, and the Adepts finish their shade across the map. This is a very awkward position for Gongfu. Does immediately recall on the 3 Void Rays as at the same time as the Adepts shading in to the main from the natural. So this is interesting. I mean, the Void Rays have cleaned up the Zerglings after they took out 10 whole probes, but Gongfu finding a decent amount of damage with the Adepts. Wow.
Well, at the very least, he has evened up on the worker loss counts during this past couple of minute or so. And, let's see if he can get some additional damage done.
Oh no, Gongfu, the 1 DT, or well, not oh no, I guess, but that DT was a little bit late. We do see those 2 spores at the third of Reynor without any Queen support. These Adepts still shading back and forth between Reynor's main and the natural, just trying to see whatever additional damage they can get done as Reynor's Roaches do finally pop.
Alright,
this game so far, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this game has started off with a cheese, and now it's kind of a back and forth type of game, as both players getting some nice worker damage done. But all in all, definitely favor Kung Fu Panda after that. He's got, of course, he got a lot more workers killed, but the thing I'm worried about is his tech. He doesn't really have a lot of tech behind this. Only now is he throwing down to that robotics facility.
Right, yeah, and it's just one of those positions as the Protoss against the Zerg where it's like, okay, I've killed 30 workers probably total in this game. Is that enough? You know, and you keep asking yourself, and look at it. It doesn't seem to be enough as Reynor actually still maintains and extends his worker lead. So Gongfu behind economically, But like you said, that was a decent amount of damage. We do see a lot of roaches coming out for Reynor, though, as I believe roach speed is about halfway done.
Yep, I imagine that once a roach speed is done, he will move across the map, and then it'll be up to GUNGFUBANDA to see if he has enough to hold and defend. Oh, actually, cleaning up some of these queens, so not too shabby. But again, those roaches, they are pretty scary. It's currently 74 army supply compared to the 31 of GUNGFUBANDA, and he did take, of course, the dirt that is a bit closer, I would say. Okay, actually, maybe it's about similar distance. But either way, he should be throwing down some additional shield batteries, because once those roaches morph into Ravagers, those corrosive bios can take out those shield batteries in the blink of an eye.
Exactly. As soon as you said that, Snoopy, we saw 7 Ravagers being queued up, and now they're finished. Reynor is smelling blood. He's moving across the map right now as we see that that supply lead just really extending in favor of Reynor. Now, again, roaches are supply heavy. Actually, the 3 Void Rays doing their best to keep the roach army back for the time being. However, the queens are marching across, which is excellent, as you do have Ravagers which can, of course, try their best to bile down the Void Rays. But the queens behind this, you've got the creep. Decent split so far, but oh, and a disruptor. This is the Hail Mary, I think, against roaches, Ravagers, and disruptors, and queens.
Yeah, so far, some nice force field, kind of segmenting some of these roaches and Ravagers. Oh, that Overseer did go down, so if he can warp in some BTs, he might be able to hold.
This is, oh my gosh, for a period of time, it looked like Reynor was taking the worst fight possible, but now it seems like it's just too much Zerg, you can just push through and just reach the, there we go, reach the third. Bile's going down, trying to catch the probes on the way out. It's a massacre so far. The third for GUNGFU is under siege. Nothing really to defend it.
Yeah, I am kind of missing some of these Dark Templars. There's nowhere to be found. I mean, they could have at least killed off a couple of these roaches and queens here, but I think he probably forgot he got a Dark Shrine or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, earlier, right, we saw the DT Shrine go down, and then immediately we just saw a big influx of Adepts. Now, there was one DT. Okay, oh, those biles always give me anxiety. I keep wondering to myself, okay, is GUNGFU actually going to dodge it? Are the Disruptors going to take too much damage? Oh no, and GUNGFU taking the straightaway third, but it is immediately spotted by the Zerg. Oh, and not even a cancel, I believe. Actually a kill on that Nexus.
Oh wow. And right now he can't afford to just kind of give free minerals away. He's down to 2 bases. Well, actually kind of 1.5 base, as that main base is about to be mined out. And Reynor just going crazy on the macro. He's expanding everywhere. He's starting to spread that creep forward and towards GUNGFUBANDA. And right now GUNGFUBANDA might have no choice but to just go for an all-in.
Yeah, like you said, GUNGFU is really out of options here. We can see Reynor doubling GUNGFU in the army supply, taking a 20-worker lead. This is not really looking good for our Red Protoss here.
Yeah, this is kind of like, someone playing with their food. I mean, Reynor probably feels very confident about his position right now. And you can kind of pretty much go outright, just go across the map and kill him. But I think he's going to wait for that bailing speed, for that +1 range attack, weapons attack upgrade to finish. And then he's going to go ahead and strike and kill and deal the killing blow.
Oh, we see a couple of disruptor shots going out, killing a queen. And awkwardly enough, Reynor did send out a small hit squad of roaches to the south, recalled them a little bit back onto creep, and there actually is one Dark Templar on the field around that place where that roach hit squad was earlier. And now there's a bit of a lull in the action as both players are really just trying to muscle their way up. We see a bunch of Lings on the production tab earlier, a bunch of Banelings. I think we're about to see, yep, Reynor going for the attack. Scouting forward with one roach. Pushing up the ramp. Oh. Okay, this is where it gets scary for GUNGFU.
Oh, he's missing one of these force fields. A lot of these banelings get on top of these stalkers.
Oh no, it's a disaster. Too many banelings just roll through. Speed finishes for them. Shield battery overcharges popped, but GG is called. Reynor takes game 1.
All right, without further ado, guys, let's get this game number 2 started. Of course, the Reynor is up 1-0. Let's go ahead and introduce our first player here.
That's right, spawning here on the bottom left corner on Jukanatha LE. In game 2, playing for Team Clash, it is the Blue Zerg, Reynor.
And spawning here at the top right, he's the red Protoss player, rocking a very snarky kind of rotating deck out there. He is playing for the team of Cascade. It is GUNGFUBANDA, or Banda.
Yeah, it's always so awkward to say Banda, right?
Yeah, I'm like thinking of the animated panda, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
so it's very easy to kind of mix them because it kind of the rhyming sounds very similar.
Yeah, definitely. Everything looks fairly standard here. We do see the pro block, I believe, on the natural of Reynor. Reynor was forced to, or Reynor just chose to take the straightaway 3rd location as his natural hatch.
Now it'll be interesting. Oh, what do we have here? We have ourselves a little bit of a sneaky forge.
I do like this, and we do see the pylon going down. Reynor, with those instincts, smells that something is up, doesn't like where that probe is headed, and spots the pylon immediately. Now, we're going to have to see, does GUNGFU actually... I believe GUNGFU is going to let this pylon finish. Yeah, we do see some drones being pulled. We do see drones... Okay, they actually shoo away the probe. Is GUNGFU going to commit to this?
Oh boy, the probe gets surrounded and does die. This is actually a horrible start here for GUNGFUBANDA.
We saw Reynor doing a little bit of a dance with those 4 drones that he did pull. You know, nothing to really do until the hatchery finishes, but yeah, not a good start for GUNGFU here in game 2, I would have to say.
Yeah, and we have to ask yourself, what does GUNGFUBANDA does from here? I mean, he does have the plus, he has the forge already, so he might want to just go ahead and go for a +1 or +2 timing attack. I think, you know, you might see yourself kind of a bit behind, but it's how you adapt and how you make best of the situation that you're in. And so let's see if GUNGFUBANDA has some way of kind of turning this game around.
Exactly, like you said, you know, you might have the best build in the world at the moment for whatever matchup it is, but there will be a time where the build is countered, right? Whether it be blindly or maybe your opponent just knew the response perfectly or whatever. You need to be able to adapt, and we do see that GUNGFU is going for that Stargate opener. We'll have to wait and see what comes out of there.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, the Stargate, and as I mentioned, the Forge earlier, whether the +1 upgrade and +2. Another thing that a Forge does, you know, kind of allows you is to build those cannons. So, if you're gonna go for mass air, or you know, as I'm predicting GUNGFUBANDA will go for, you can kind of utilize that for that early Forge to just make some extra cannons to kind of secure his additional bases from now on. Oh, but as I say that, I'm gonna throw down a Twilight Council here. You know what? +1 adept glade timing? Maybe?
I do like the sound of that. Yep, we do see another gateway going down. I believe that Twilight actually started before the Stargate finished, so yeah, like you said, GUNGFU probably looking to get some damage done.
Alright, let's see how much damage these oracles can do. But so far, looks like he might be looking towards to establishing his dirt base, as those adepts are kind of rallied there, as well as the oracle.
We do see adept glaives on the way on the Twilight Council. We also see a decent amount of gateways coming up. But yeah, like you said, it looks like GUNGFU is just setting up for taking that 3rd nexus.
Now, this very well can be a fake dirt, but seeing that there is no additional gateways. It's probably a legit one. But in the meantime, no Spore Crawlers here at the natural, but a bunch of queens. And oh, actually this dirt might be a little bit exposed.
Oh, gotta be careful with that Oracle. Good drone pool from Reynor, but yeah, that Oracle not able to find any more room to maneuver.
Alright, Baneling Nest up and on the way. A lot of Lings here out on the field before Reynor in response to those two Adepts here. Let's see if Reynor can kind of... Oh, gets a nice surround. That's a good start.
Oh, yeah. +1 on the way for GUNGFU, but now we have to wait and see. Can GUNGFU... Okay, it looks like he will be able to scare off the Zerglings just for now, for the time being, but... Reynor always sharking, you know, always trying to poke and prod and find that angle where he can just come in with those Zerglings.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Reynor. He's very active with his Lings. Gets more done than the usual average Zerg player. And oh man, getting a nice round once again on these Adepts.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is actually also a very good indicator, right? Those Zerglings immediately see, hey, that is a decent amount of Adepts. It's a little bit of a red flag. Here, let me queue up some more Zerglings and some more Banelings. So, yeah, being active with those Lings, like you said, it definitely pays off, right? You get scouting done, you try to poke and prod and get some damage done. Yeah, it's really good against well, any opponent really, I guess.
Yeah, and now it's up to GUNGFUBANDA to get some damage done with these ragtag group of Adepts. But does he have enough? It doesn't seem like he has an overwhelming amount of Adept numbers. In fact, I think these queens alone can kind of deal with them. But here we go.
The Shades do not complete. The queens are going to stay on the front lines. Transfuse is going down. Yep, like you said, the queens for now aren't enough to ward away the Adepts. Although, are they going to complete this Shade? Nope, they are not.
Well, at the very least, these Adepts at the left side did serve as a distraction for those two Adepts on the right side. So, did take up an extra 2 drones. Not too game-changing as Reynor, you know, still has a healthy amount. Although he probably wants a bit more of a difference between him and GUNGFUBANDA at this point, but still, it could have definitely gone much worse.
Yep, definitely. We see both players again powering up. Blink about 2/3 done. +2 attack for Protoss ground on the way. Ooh, and these Lings. Oh, a decent chunk of them actually get caught in the stasis ward, but more Lings flood in. Decent force field for now. Yeah, very good force fields actually. Oh. Banelings coming into the third. Probes. Wow, honestly, I thought it would get a little bit more damage done. But the Zerglings do run into the natural. Again, Reynor with that Ling aggression. Taking down a total of 12 probes so far. More Lings on the way. The Lings in the natural do get cornered, but these Lings towards the third do force in another warp in. Wow. +1 Lings, man. You gotta love it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm thinking Reynor might be getting a little bit too Ling happy here. It's really important to have him kind of set up the next phase of this game. I don't think as the game progresses that he's going to find too much more damage with these Lings, as there are more Adepts on the field, there are more sentries on the field, cannons spread throughout the bases of the Protoss. So he might want to go ahead and try to, as I say that, he is thrown down in the infestation pit. Might be a little bit late, but here we go. Another attack here from Reynor.
Like you said, right? It's the further as the game goes on, but these Banelings do get decent connections. That Colossus doing work in the back of the natural. Banelings, you know, obviously just trying to get their mark on the probes, but yeah, like you said, GUNGFU holds and did not lose the Colossus, did not lose the key unit in this composition.
Yeah, and right now, as the infestation pit is done, gonna go ahead and tech up to Hive. The thing is, Reynor has to buy himself enough time for the Hive to get up and then start throwing up the Hive tech, whether that is going to be on Ultralisk or maybe Broodlords. Something. He needs something besides just these Lings and Banelings, because right now GUNGFUBANDA is kind of making his way towards an army ball that is going to be significantly efficient in dealing with those Ling and Banelings.
Yep, definitely. It looks like GUNGFU, honestly, you know, in a decent spot. Oh, but these Stalkers in the front. Okay, the 2 Colossi do ward away the Lings. I believe the Colossi in front were just to, you know, say, hey, try to eat this, right? And hopefully I will decimate your Lings from behind. We do see a very sizable number of Banelings going up to the north, up to the left side at the natural. Stalkers do spot that, and they're actually going to be able to get some Baneling. Oh, nope. Those Lings are just going to run through. Oh, no. Some of these Stalkers getting surrounded, trapped on the outside, but so far, not too many have died. These 2 Adepts and the War Prism have actually been consistently dealing some damage. Oh, and as I say that, the 2 Adepts get taken out, but yeah, props to GUNGFUBANDA for, you know, keeping that War Prism alive, keeping some damage, some sort of distraction going for Reynor's. What is his average? 600 APM?
It would seem so, right? Sometimes he micros like a god. But anyhow, oh man, these bunch of these Banelings does roll in, and oh my goodness, all these probes, poor little probes.
Oh man, like you can split as good as you want, but that is just so many Banelings. 14 probes going down. Wow.
Yeah, and look at the worker count, 105 to 71. That is absolutely insane. You should never, or I wouldn't say never, but it's not like the smartest choices to go all the way to over 100 drones. But if you can, I mean, and get away with it, I mean, please do so, and feel free to do so. But man, these Lings once again diving here onto this 12 o'clock base, getting some more workers killed.
As these Lings were decimating the third, we actually saw about 40 supply, that's right, 40 supply worth of Zerglings get caught out by the main force, by these 3 Colossi that came from the south. And, you know, like you said, 105, well, now down to 99, but Reynor definitely knowing what he's doing. He's playing a style that is just, you know, I'm going to suck up all the resources on my side of the map. I'm going to keep throwing wave after wave of Lings and Banes at you until you break. But I don't know, it's, you know, it's at that point where GUNGFU is able to get out a mothership, getting +1 air. However, these Stalkers at the 4th are going to get caught a little bit out, have to blink away as the Colossi come back in.
Reynor once again attempting a Baneling run by, but Stasis Ward will thwart that away. And GUNGFUBANDA, he's kind of reeling at this point. He's going to go ahead and try to do a mortal drop. You don't see this every day, a mortal drop at the 13-minute mark. But all these Lings will go ahead and defend and secure that base. And another Baneling run by TeaDragon. This is going to be the game of Baneling run bys.
Yep, that is definitely the name of the game here. They just, you know, they don't care about a couple of Adepts. They take out the Nexus too. Who cares about probes, right? And that Colossus just, sadly, like, that Colossus is crying right now, you know? Like, no, I wish I could save it. I wish I could fire faster, but that is not the case. Oh, man. GUNGFU really struggling to get above 150 supply. Actually, supply blocked right now. This is definitely... Okay, GUNGFU looking to move out with the 2 Colossi, but I'm not sure if that's the right move, as we do see the Lings coming back in, not really finding any sort of passage into the natural, as there is that 3rd Colossus back there. This Immortal War Prism drop still doing damage, hitting that War Prism, I'm sorry, hitting that hatchery might actually get it? No. Oh no.
Another huge attack here. Oh man, I don't see this base. Oh, actually, you know what? As I say that, doing some nice little kind of spread there, might be able to. The mothership actually gonna arrive here. Ooh, it just saves that base in the blink of time. But boy, that was a close call.
This is just so costly for Reynor. You can see Reynor really struggling to keep or bank up any sort of gas, because he's just spending it all We do see Lings going every which way. 13 probes going down so far. Yeah. Snoopy, this game is yeah. I don't even know what to say at this point. You know, the Zerg is just really just not playing around with the Protoss, but really just picking apart the Protoss whichever way.
Yeah, I mean, throughout this whole game, REYNOR has been on the offensive end and GUNGFUBANDA has been on the defensive end. And it seems like that is not stopping anytime soon.
We see the Ultras really streaming forward under that mothership. Baneling's coming in. GG is called as soon as the first carrier pops out. A red Protoss spawning here in the bottom left corner of Oxide LE. It is GUNGFUBANDA.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our blue Italian Zerg. One game away from clinching the series. Can he do it? It is REYNOR.
I have to say, these past two games, it really feels like REYNOR is in pretty much complete control of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Not really able to show his chops just yet.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I would say there is kind of a level difference that is very, very noticeable. And REYNOR kind of stretching his muscles right now as GUNGFUBANDA is kind of thinking of a way to somehow, some way, at least get the first point on the scoreboard. But it just seems like REYNOR has all the answers, and there's just no answer on the Protoss side of the map. But who knows? Crazier things has happened. We have seen, of course, people down 0-2 and suddenly, you know, kind of go into Super Saiyan mode and goes in a 3-game winning streak to kind of do a reverse all kill. But this is going to be a tough order against REYNOR.
Oh, definitely. You said it. Reverse sweeps, especially in StarCraft 2, they are possible, but they are rare. They're very, very rare.
Alright, so the past few couple of games, or I guess only the past 2 games, GUNGFUBANDA has kind of gone for that glaive adept timing. Hasn't really worked out thus far. And once you commit to that kind of glaive adept timing push build, you need to find enough damage to kind of put yourself ahead. Especially against REYNOR, who is really great at macroing. So even though he loses like a good chunk of drones, he's still able to manage to, you know, remake those drones and progress throughout the game. So I'm wondering if GUNGFUBANDA is going to go ahead and try to change up his build here.
Yeah, you said it. Maybe, you know, maybe GUNGFU leans on the Stargate a little bit heavier, maybe delays the Twilight or something like that. But yeah, like you said, those adepts, they are costly, right? You know, it's what, 100 minerals, 25 gas. And if you're trading 1-to-1, right, you kill 1 drone for every adept that you lose, you're still not trading efficiently. Granted, those are workers that you're killing, but yeah, you know, you need to be able to find some sort of damage with something that committed.
Yeah, so far I actually do like this building placement, the Stargate placement of a GUNGFUBANDA. It's kind of tucked away at the backside of the base, and that makes the Overlord scouting very difficult. Usually the Zerg players will of course send their overlords, their initial Overlord scout, into the main base. So nice little kind of a change up there by GUNGFUBANDA. I might actually steal that for myself. It's kind of a better way to hide the tech. But anyhow, the first Orko will swoop in here to the main base, but that Spore Color just going to finish in the nick of time.
Yeah, REYNOR with the perfect timing on the Blank Spore. Oracle getting 2 quick kills, dipping right back out. I like that. Excellent Oracle micro.
Yeah, we do of course see so many times where the first initial Oracle does get sniped down due to carelessness, and it's really important as the Protoss to save those Oracles, because they of course are pretty useful towards the mid and even late game. It's not like the Reapers of the Terran, where if you're gonna, you know, keep them alive, or if you lose them in the early game, it's not gonna really matter because Reapers don't kind of transition into the mid and late game that well. So, but the oracles, of course, a different story.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you, right? Oracles will always be able to find value at any stage of the game. However, is Gongfu going to be able to counter this? What is this? A queen drop with a bunch of lings? I was about to say, you know, it's kind of weird that Gongfu has 50, almost 50 probes, and REYNOR is down, but the lings are getting in, and now we see why REYNOR has been cutting back on the drones, as the shield battery at the third does get targeted down. We see some desperate zealots being warped in. The 3 oracles finally come in here just in time to shoo away the zerglings before any probes can go down.
Oh, and here comes the queen reinforcement flying through the air in the hot air balloon that we call overlords.
Yeah.
But oh man, these oracles are running out of energy. Do they even have enough to clean up these queens?
This is all of a sudden so dicey. We see that overlord, putting down creep as well. These queens really doing their low DPS, but you know, putting it out. And these zerglings also targeting down the shield battery. Oh, we see REYNOR with the micro on the queens and the overlord. Yeah, this is so dicey, you know. We see 6 probes going down, but Gongfu, can he hold?
Ooh, it's gonna be tough. I mean, those shield batteries in the back has been drained of their energy. There's no more shield battery overcharge. That was just a used just a second ago. And now GUNGFUBANDA is gonna have to retreat back into his natural base.
Yep, going back to that natural wall with the zealot plugging it. The sentry, of course, there, the immortal shelling away, doing its best. It will come in handy against the queens, but it looks like GUNGFUBANDA will give up on his straightaway third. I don't think it's possible to save it at this point.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance that that Nexus is going to survive. And I love this throwing down the Cleat Tumor for good measure. Unfortunately, GUNGFUBANDA has that observer, but right now, GUNGFUBANDA is kind of reeling and doesn't have a way to kind of establish his third base here.
Look, as long as he keeps that 1 health oracle alive, I have faith in him.
Yeah,
but yeah, you said it. REYNOR evening up the workers. Actually, I did expect REYNOR to be able to macro a bit more. Okay, there we go. We see 63 drones versus 52 probes. And yeah, Gongfu is not in a good spot. We see REYNOR putting down a 4th as Gongfu doesn't even have a 3rd up and running.
Yeah, at this point, I think he senses that there is not really a way to kind of macro out of this. It's going to take forever to reestablish his third base and get his economy rolling. So, I'm not too mad about the decision to just kind of go for an all-in here. I would even love him to throw down some additional gateways. Just go for a super all-in here.
Yeah, I agree. That is definitely the call here. I believe Charge just finished for our Red Protoss. We see 3 Archons have finished morphing. That War Prism is tearing a few more charge lots as well. And yeah, this is do or die at this moment, right? Like, GUNGFUBANDA out of options here again.
Oh man, even the Hydralisk joining up in the force. This third base is just not gonna... Oh, actually, as I say that, he's gonna go ahead and try to retreat, as there is a huge attack here at the Zergs the Third.
Yeah, we do see those charge lots going to town, doing some work. More... Oh, sentries actually, with the charge lots warping in on the front lines. 8 drones going down so far, but now, can GUNGFUBANDA push through this mass of Hydras and Queens? I'm not so sure, Snoopy. This does not look like a good fight.
Yeah, the Archons... Yeah, the Archons are growing low in numbers. There's not a lot to kind of buffer these Archons and Sentries, so GUNGFUBANDA is going to have to retreat here, as he's got to wait for some more reinforcements.
This is just such a funny sight, right? You see the creep right outside of GUNGFUBANDA's natural, and he finally does clean it up with that Oracle tag. Like we mentioned earlier, that Oracle really just finding value at any stage of the game. But now, the question is, can GUNGFUBANDA hold on? We see the first Archon being popped. Oh, and the War Prism goes down with an Archon in it. This looks like the beginning of the end. You know, we see the Archons really suffering, taking all of that Hydra damage. I don't think this third is going to stay alive. I don't think GUNGFUBANDA is going to stay alive in this series either, as he retreats all the way back to the natural.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. And GG is called. GUNGFUBANDA concedes, and REYNOR will take this series 3-0.